top story tonight. What if you were to analyze the foundation like any charitable organization? That's the question that we're asking tonight. Does the Clinton Foundation wisely spend charitable dollars? Well, the experts have weighed in, and the answer is a resounding no. One expert even called it a slush fund for the Clintons. These aren't politicos, these are charity experts. Here to weigh in on those findings, a couple of politicos, Adam Goodman, a Republican strategist, and Liz Harrington of the Washington Free Beacon. Welcome to you both. Great to have you here. We've been looking at this for some time, and I'm amazed at what we find when we pull this apart. Adam, I'll start with you. So Charity Navigator, who we have on the show all the time, has placed the Clinton Foundation on a watch list. They think there are problems with this nonprofit. They don't like the way it runs itself. They say the money is not spent wisely. Your reaction tonight?
Well, first of all, the Clintons have a new golden rule. The rule is whoever has the most gold rules. Obviously, they are on a list now of scarlet-lettered charities that have raised serious questions in this case, Jerry, about our national security. But the most troubling thing of all, really, in my opinion, comes down to the uranium deal with Russia, where we've now learned that Russia owns the largest uranium supplier in the world, that this was a deal that the State Department not only ignored and turned its back on, but the foundation abetted and approved.
Let's get back to this issue of the Clinton Foundation and how it's run and where the money goes to. Because if you scratch the surface of any Democrat, they say what a wonderful charitable organization it is and how much it's doing to help people in need, people who are hungry, people who have AIDS. But listen to this, only 6% of the money that it collected in 2013, 6%. Of the $9 million, of the $140 million in total it collected, went to help people. Liz, to you, that seems to be an abominable record to me. What do you say?
Well, exactly. These are issues that have been happening with the Clinton Foundation long before Peter Schweitzer started looking into it. As you mentioned, the numbers just don't add up. One of the biggest offenses the Clinton Foundation came out with yesterday was that 88% of their expenditures go directly to their charitable programs. That's just simply not true. As you mentioned, they rigged in $140 million. They only spent $9 million on direct aid. Most of their money goes towards salaries, bonuses to close friends.
Well, let's show folks exactly where it does go. Here's a list of the foundation spending, where the money goes. $30 million on payroll, $8.7 million to expenses, $9.2 to conferences, meetings, fundraising, $8 million, nearly $8.5 million on travel. And of course, we know, Adam, that the Clintons themselves are not taking a salary out of this, but they have something like, I think, 2,000 employees all over the world. And this, coming from Charity Navigator, they say, quote, that the Clinton Foundation does not meet their criteria, as a organization that does charitable work. And do you know who else is in that group, my friend? Al Sharpton's group, Al Sharpton's National Action Network. So they are in good company there. Your reaction?
Well, how else do you, I mean, you just said it. Al Sharpton's in the same group. I mean, is this any way to run a charity where 6% are going directly into aid, where there are all sorts of questions raised about the administration of the charity? But most importantly, Jerry, we're talking about a charitable organization that helped Russia secure the largest investment in uranium in the world. Uranium is the prime product used to produce nuclear weapons. Russia just, of course, in January, came together in a new military alliance with Iran.
You've mentioned this twice now. You've mentioned this twice now, and I agree, it's a huge problem. One of about a dozen that are outlined in the book that's written by Peter Schweitzer, Clinton Cash. I want you to listen to what he had to say this weekend on the Sunday shows about it's fascinating. Listen to Peter.
My answer is that's extremely troubling, especially the fact that you find it's a very extensive pattern. This is not one or two examples. There are 11 instances, and I think when you have one or two examples, it's coincidence. When you have this many, to me, it's a trend.
Coincidence or trend? That's a big question. Liz, how do you answer the question?
Well, the biggest defense they are having now is that there's no direct evidence, there's no smoking gun. But the problem is there's no way Schweitzer was going to be able to get the smoking gun. He doesn't have access to Hillary Clinton's emails. He doesn't have subpoena power. And the thing is, there might never be a smoking gun because Hillary Clinton decided which emails were personal, and maybe those had something to do with the Clinton Foundation. She thought it was separate. But the problem is, it doesn't matter if there's direct evidence. He's created a pattern here which already fits in with the perception that a lot of people have about the Clintons, is that they use their power for, personal favors, and that they've stacked the deck themselves.
They've used their power for personal favors. I think you put that well. Adam, to you, you're probably familiar with Bill Allison. He's a government watchdog. He runs something called the Sunlight Foundation, and he tracks money in the political world, basically. He says the Clinton Foundation operates as, get this, a slush fund for the Clintons. Do you agree?
I think it's a clever way to say it, and probably. I mean, first she announces she's going to raise $2.5 billion for her campaign, mostly from hedge funds. Now we hear about a slush fund through the foundation. I think the bottom line is Hillary Clinton has to explain to the American people, not through press releases and denials, exactly what happened here, because this isn't just about a normal charity. This is about a group that reached out and had donations. I think a third of their donations were from foreign powers of over $1 million each. We need to know what happened here and why, and whether or not this has any impact on our concerns for our national security.
Well put, Adam. Liz, great job. Thanks to both of you for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you.
And now we want to bring